afternoon. Thank you for joining us today on this press conference regarding DACA. I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We are here today alongside our Mayor Sylvester Turner, who's been a champion of not only DACA, but of comprehensive immigration reform. As you know, we are at a point where our congressional delegation, our congressmen and women, need to arrive at an important conclusion regarding DACA. The people you see standing before you today have been our partners. It's important that we have other guests that are joining us out there. We're going to ask, especially Yes Prep school director, to join us, and the others that were invited to the press conference before we start, to please join us behind these podiums. So if you can make a stringway there, Araceli, and let I see Adrian and others to walk through there, please, quickly. Thank you.
I think they're going around.
Thank you.
Get the fire chief to call the fire.
There you go. Got a few more. You were invited to Michael. I see Michael out there. Please join us back here. Thank you. Please. Please. You can come through the sign or around before we get started. And I see Charles and others out there. Please join us. Because the point that we're trying to make today is that this is not, and I want to emphasize, this is not a Hispanic issue. The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has been at the forefront of this battle and will continue to fight until over 800,000 DACA recipients are afforded the opportunity that they deserve, and that's a pathway to citizenship. We know that over 80% of Americans support DACA recipients and support them remaining in this country. In the Houston-Harris County region, we know that we have over 80,000 DACA recipients, some in this room. These individuals are tax-paying individuals. We also know that the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here to say to you that whether or not you support immigration, we're asking you to consider the economic impact of these DACA recipients. So think about your wallets if you won't think about the economic impact that these individuals have, and that is, for Houston-Harris County, it would be $2 billion in economic activity that these DACA recipients bring to this area. Again, $2 billion with a B. Texas would lose up to $6 billion should these DACA recipients not be allowed to stay here. And think about our country. If these DACA recipients are not allowed to stay here, we will lose over $460 billion. Think about those resources, that economic impact of not allowing these individuals, in Houston especially, over 80,000, not given that opportunity. Across the country, we're talking about over 800,000 individuals, not to mention their family members. We have individuals here who are elected officials, CEOs, business leaders, and elected officials who are saying to our congressional leadership, and in particular, the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is asking Senator Cornyn to be a leader, to be a hero, to do the right thing, and not play political politics, and not to utilize these dreamers as political pawns. They are people, not pawns. Senator Cornyn, we ask for your leadership. This is not about Republicans. This is not about Democrats. This is about people. He has been our partner when it comes to business on many issues. Senator Cornyn, we're asking you to lead. We're asking you to do the right thing. We're also asking that of our Democratic leadership, Durbin and others, to also join forces, find a solution. This is imperative to our country, and we demand it. We are asking for it. We are here to support and provide facts, true facts, especially from an economic standpoint. We know that 72% of these dreamers are employed at Fortune 500 companies. We know that they've given their time and service to the military. So we ask you today to do everything you can, and we've had a call for action through our social media platform with all of these individuals and many others. to pick up those phones and call members of Congress to ask them to support these DACA recipients. And again, I'll end my comments by saying this. This is not about Hispanics. This is about people. This is about an economic impact that we cannot afford to lose. And it is not about Republicans or Democrats. It's about people coming together to do the right thing. And that's why we've gathered individuals from the Anti-Defamation League. We've gathered lawyers. We've gathered other groups to say the same thing to you all today, is that Senator Cornyn especially, we are asking you to work with both sides of Congress to resolve this. And now, to our mayor, once again, my thanks to you and your team for always affording us the opportunity to gather on areas of common interest. And as you know, DACA in particular will have serious implications for the city of Houston and Harris County. So on that, our mayor, Sylvester Turner.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me thank Dr. Murillo again and for organizing this event and bringing us all here. I will echo what she had to say. It is not about Democrats, it's not about Republicans, but it is about the city of Houston. It's about the entire city of Houston. This issue is important to the entire city of Houston, and that's why we're here. I'm so proud when you look around and see who's standing. This is Houston standing for Houstonians. Members of City Council, Mayor Pro Tem is here, Cornyn. You've got Council Member Carlos Cisneros, Council Member Robert Gallegos, Council Member Dwight Borkins, Council Member David Robinson, the Comptroller Chris Brown is standing here, Council Member Amanda Edwards, and then when you have both the fire chief as well as the police chief, Chief Acevedos, Chief Pena, along with everyone else. This is about the city of Houston and its growth and its prosperity. Let me just say, not too long ago, we can remember, we did not make it into the top 20, and when it came to Amazon, it's very painful. But as we look towards the future of the city of Houston is very well dependent on the dreamers that exist within this city. I just left an event where we were highlighting millennials, and this coming Saturday is a conference on millennials, with millennials. And so it's very important that we maintain and support all the assets that we have. And the assets that we have are in our people. And they are people who have matriculated through our colleges and universities, our high schools, have done exceptionally well, and we need the talent. And so for us to compete, we need the talent. So this is not a Democratic issue, it's not a Republican issue, but it is a people's issue. And it is a city issue, and it's important for everyone that represents the city of Houston, state of Texas, to stand with us. Now, I know I have said this many, many times, but I'll say it again because it is the story of Houston. We are a city of dreamers, the most diverse city in the country. We are a welcoming city, one where we do not care what country you come from, what language you speak, or who your parents are. If you are willing to work hard, you can succeed. There are over 80,000 young immigrants in the city of Houston who have made significant contributions to our city and our country. They are part of the fabric of our future, and today I join the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and proudly join the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and other leaders gathered here today to ask Congress to act and follow through on the promise to help dreamers. In less than 2 months, if Congress does not act, dreamers will face deportation. By not acting, we will be impacting families, small business owners, and the city as a whole. Congress has established February 8th as a new deadline to fund the government, and if there is not a bipartisan consensus on how to proceed on the new legislation, we may very well see another shutdown. I hope that will not be the case. I am asking Houstonians to encourage Senator Mitch McConnell to schedule the vote for the bipartisan immigration bill by February the 6th. Regardless of what Congress does, Houston will continue to be a welcoming city, so we are hopeful that we will do the right thing. And let me just say to you, if you're anywhere within the 640 square miles of the city of Houston, I am your mayor, and this is your city, and there's no better time to do the right thing than right now.
Thank you, Mayor. questions if you have any. Best press conference ever. Thank you.
Let me acknowledge, though, some of the other elected officials, because I would be remiss, because it's not just the city alone, it's our state legislators as well. State Representative Amanda Wiley, State Representative Anna Hernandez, State Representative Jean Wu.
Yes.
Thank you all for, and the sheriff. Harris County Sheriff. So on all levels, the state, the city, the county, and all of our community partners, let me thank you all again.
And I want to note that not joining us today, but we did receive letters from our county commissioners who also, we had several who sent letters of support on this issue. And I want to emphasize that there are Republicans, independents, and Democrats who are behind this. And a reminder once again, over 80% of Americans support DACA recipients. Representing also the Greater Houston Partnership, joining us today is Charles Foster. The business community is behind us, and we thank GHP and others for joining us today. Any questions, comments? If not, we'll go ahead and end the press conference if you'd like to do. I'll do something in Spanish for the Spanish media very quickly. Hola y bienvenidos a nuestra conferencia de prensa. Soy la doctora Laura Murillo, representando a la Cámara Hispana de Houston. Estamos aquí para pedirles que por favor apoyen a DACA y estamos aquí también para hablar con nuestro presidente y nuestros líderes en el Congreso, en particular el senador Cornyn, que apoye DACA y que por favor ustedes sigan con el énfasis de mantenerse involucrados en este proceso, que llamen a sus congresistas, que sigan adelante, que tienen el apoyo de todos los líderes que están aquí y muchos más. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be passing out our DACA white papers at the door. Araceli will have all the data for you as you leave. Thank you so much.